Oh, Farmer Chris.
Well, we're back at it, ain't
We're back at it. We got to get.
Yeah.
I should have did this before.
I've got mine camouflaged, but it's on ice. So.
is it this plus something?
No, it's just that.
Just that?
Yeah,
All right.
just that.
That was going to be a prelude to how good of a podcast we're going to have.
Well,
here,
it could. It could.
All right. You know what else I forgot to check?
What's that?
What season are we in?
I was getting ready to ask you that. I don't know if we're season
So
4.
last year we had no idea what episode we were on.
Yeah, just episode next.
Now we have no idea what season our episode we're on.
Yeah, because we call this one episode. Yeah, we don't know what episode. Depends on how we load them now.
Yeah, so you guys have probably already seen the live, which we're getting ready to do. So
Yep.
you're in our world of Time Matrix right now.
Yeah.
So this will be episode 2.
Yeah, episode 2.
The live we're getting ready to do will be episode 1.
Correct.
I think this is season 4.
I was going to say season 4.
All right, we're going to go with it.
Yeah.
If not, it's going to be season 4.2.
There you go. Yeah.
All right, so we have conversations every year about keeping this going, and it's we usually do what 5 to 10 episodes a year.
We do,
it's probably
but
more than that.
But we normally start in October.
Yes,
We're 10 days from Christmas,
yes.
so it might be a short season.
It
But
might be a short season, but every time we don't do this, you guys are always asking. I know there's a small percentage that come over from the Dirt Bourbon
Yep.
channel.
Yep.
I say some small percentage. We were averaging 10,000 listens on YouTube last
year, yeah.
So that was pretty good. So for some reason, you guys like what we have to say.
and I get a lot of comments out traveling. You know, some of them rather will listen to this channel than any of them.
I think, and you guys can comment down below and let us know, but I think our hardcore listeners really like the in-depth thought process behind what's going on.
We get in depth and more conversation. going
And
on.
it's just our opinion. Keep that in mind. It's 100% our
Yep.
opinion, but some people appreciate our train of thought, and they can learn what not to do from it, or they can learn to how
Yeah.
to possibly apply it to something to what they
What they're doing.
got going on. So appreciate you guys listening. We're going to try to knock out a few. We have several guests. I've actually already recorded a few back over the season. Brian from Dirt Grain and Steel and his business partner Rick's coming on. That is a super cool podcast with those guys. He's a fellow YouTuber. Has been competing with me in the National Equipment League stuff. I got who's the other one? Who am I thinking? Oh, I can't. Oh, Lord Muck.
Oh, Lord Mark, yeah.
Lord
yeah,
Muck.
when he was over.
He flew all the way over here from England for a podcast. So
He's pretty dedicated, ain't he?
it's not completely true, but he was here and I took advantage of him. I feel like I've got another one.
I thought you said you had 3 of them.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness, I'm gonna have to look this up right now just to find out for sure where we're at. Got another one lined up, or got another one on here. No promises, no guarantees, but I think we've reached out to Farmer Grace. Hopefully we'll get her on here with one.
Yep.
She is a super cool girl with just a really cool history / background of kind of where she's at.
Yep.
So Diesel Iron, Lord Muck.
These aren't.
Only
2 of them.
only 2 I got.
Okay.
So yeah, that is that's all we got.
Yep, and then we got a
I thought
couple-
we had a third one on there.
I thought you did, but
Maybe I haven't loaded it up yet.
and then we got a couple other guests we're trying to.
Yeah,
bring
so we
along.
got some really cool stuff. I would love to get Bill from PRK Marketing, which is the guy. I think he could give a lot of insight to if you're trying to market your company or if you're trying to look for somebody to help market your company. Just kind of some behind the scene matrix of all that. The financial world, you've got a pretty good
Yep. I
contact
think we
there.
can get. And maybe the financial world, and I think he might zone in on agricultural
Yeah, which is there's a lot of
finance, which
a lot
is
of
always
stuff
interesting.
super interesting because it's different from a lot of other things, but there's also a lot of stuff that crosses over.
Yep, he's very, very seasoned and very educated.
Yeah.
So,
And for some reason, he thinks our podcast is informative, which is
Yeah.
kind of scary.
it is. Yep.
I do have the opportunity to get Andrew Comrade on here if I can just find a way to make it all work.
Yep.
He's agreed to it, but that's all hard to do sometimes. So anyways, I think even though it's going to be a short season, we got a pretty
Interesting, informative season.
Yeah, so we try to put these out the first Sunday of every month. We usually try to go from sometime in October to sometime in March. We're getting a late start, so maybe we're going to
Yeah.
go a little bit later. I don't know. Everybody's going to ask where my sidekick Jason's at.
I was going to bring that up. Why ain't Jason sitting here again?
So the simple reason is Jason don't live here.
Yeah, well, when you guys first started this, he had plans of living here, but
Well, whenever we first started this, I did it kicking and screaming. This was not my idea.
Uh-huh.
This was Jason's idea. And he was actually in the process of moving here to Indiana. And things have changed, times have changed. He's still in Pennsylvania. I got 2 kids now.
yep,
Busy, busy, busy.
Yes, yes.
Well, technically, you don't have 2 kids now, but
yeah, he's one kid and one in the oven. So
yeah, he's working on the second one.
yep, so
Actually, guess his part's done. She's working on
yeah, his part's done. Yeah, yeah.
If you want to look, I think you should have free time. But
He
anyways,
was down in was it down in August or September, late August? There, he come down.
yep.
Made a short little quick trip and ate supper with him. And he took off again.
So Jason may make some random appearances on the channel from here on out, but I think you've officially taken over as co-host.
As long as they want me here, I'll try to fill in.
So far.
It's just hard for 2 people to get together with Mother Nature as busy as we are.
Yeah.
And that's the problem we've got. We've had a dry fall for the most part.
Yeah.
November got wet, but
But the problem is you have a dry fall, you still get farther behind because more and more things get thrown into the
throw it to the side. Yep,
Yeah,
I agree.
Which I think we're going to maybe try to do a podcast on current events and kind of status
Yep.
of everything. We'll see how it works. So, anyways, everybody thinks that we are really structured here, and we got a whole bunch of notes and we got a plan and a show sheet before we sit down and record anything.
I don't see much here.
There's nothing.
I actually told somebody this morning I was going to go down to Mike's and do a podcast. And they go, "What's the topic going to be?" I don't know. I'll find out when I get there. Well, you ain't going to study for it? No, it is what it is.
No, so whatever you guys get out of us is absolute raw.
Material of our thought.
Yeah, it's absolutely raw material in the thought. The other thing is, too, me and you talk back and forth a little bit about what we're going to talk about, but I think we keep our cards kind of close to our chest because
Yep.
we want to get to see each other's
We
reactions.
want to see the surprise on the other one. Yeah.
Because we're going to get the in-person
Yep.
reaction.
Yep.
So, all right, so what's on the subject for today?
Well, I had one subject I was thinking of. You've had a subject. We're going to knock them both out, but on separate podcasts here. So
Yeah.
I've seen the beginning of the Dirt Perfect. I know
You've seen the very first clip ever filmed.
Yep. And we've discussed this before, but now here we are another year down the road.
Yeah.
Dirt Perfect keeps getting busier.
Yeah. In more ways than one.
Yep. So this fall, was this 6 years or 7 years?
So it's funny you say that because I actually got a notification from YouTube. It would have been last Friday. I got a notification from YouTube that I've never got before.
Really?
It was happy 6-year birthday. Happy 6th
year-
birthday.
Okay. I knew we was getting close to that 6 year mark.
So I have officially been posting content on YouTube, as I guess if you want to say a creator, and I'm air quoting here.
Yeah.
For 6 years and 1 month is the time of this recording.
Cool. Did you expect it to be where it's at now when you started recording this? Because, your first one was a phone,
Yeah.
a hat with a clip on it,
Everybody still makes fun of that.
a homemade bracket you put in the dirt that you put your
I
phone
was
in.
poor and broke and had no clue what I was doing. I'm still poor and broke and have no clue what I'm doing. Just people like watching for some reason.
And when you started recording, I think it was for recording history for your future family
Yeah,
or, for
so-
your kids. But
I don't want to go too
Yeah.
far back into it because we've documented it several times. But the whole premise and timing behind starting the channel was Wade.
Yep.
He'd been after me for a while to do it. I just shut down one business and was kind of focusing on another. Thought I had this free time.
yep,
And the driving force behind it was, being able to document the
the life of
the
Mike
life.
Simon.
Yeah. Whatever kids want to see it, grandkids want to see it, wife want to see it. And not only that, I think this also applies to what you do. You're kind of, if you're passionate about what you do, you're proud of what you want to do,
Yeah.
so you just want to share it.
Sure. Yep.
Like, look what I got, look what we did, blah, 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 blah. So there's a lot of comments and history out there about
Yeah.
how you and my wife made major fun of me.
yes. Yeah.
I started the channel.
Oh yeah.
My wife called me an idiot, and you kept rubbing it into my face how successful Wade was.
Yeah. Yep.
And how long it took Wade
Well,
to
that's all flipped now, ain't it?
Yeah, well, what a difference 6 years made.
Yeah. Do you still have that free time you thought you did?
Well, so I turned into a politician here. I never answered your question.
Yeah.
So whenever I started my channel, the only thing, and I tell people this all the time, if you want to start a channel to get famous or if you want to start a channel to get rich, you're going to fail.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
Yep.
The only thing I was hoping to get out of the channel was to make enough money to justify my time doing it. So it was not a dead expensed hobby. And I thought, man, if I just make a little bit extra money here and there to do something cool or buy something cool, it'd be great. But I never intended on
Being where it's at now.
being where it's at now. So, and then I thought I had all this free time because I just shut down. I literally shut down 2 businesses. So we had a real estate investment business, and we had a construction business.
Yeah.
It's probably one of the few things I ever started without goals.
I'd say Dirt Perfect part has turned into a business by itself now.
Yeah, it's taken over.
Yeah.
It's. I'm trying to figure out how to do this on a progressive timeline without confusing people. So whenever I first started 6 years ago, it was with my phone. It was with a bunch of homemade camera mounts. Like I spent literally $0 to get started because I already had a phone. A lot of the camera mounts I made were just out of scrap metal here in the shop. The magnets I used was the same magnets that hold the flags on the side of my lowboy trailer going down the road. I mean, like I literally the app I used to edit back then was free, and I put no money into this thing whatsoever, nothing. And I don't know, I probably did it for 3, 4, maybe 5 months like that. Never spent a dime on anything. I actually had a guy give me like a Hero 3 camera, a GoPro, which I used a few times, not very often. And after about 6 months, it started kind of gaining enough traction where I got monetized. I got a check or two. And then I mean, even to this day, I don't spend a whole lot of money on the channel. I keep cameras updated. And
As long as you don't bury them or lose them.
wait a minute, Farmer Chris. They are not all in working order, but I still have every camera I've ever bought in my possession.
Really? Well, you've had to have a metal detector on some of them.
Some of them are in better shape than others, but I've never actually truly lost one.
You've went through more phones than you have cameras.
I probably have. It's probably not an accurate statement. But as time has went on and the channel has gained popularity, it's forced the business to shift some. I see a lot of channels on the internet that start filming their business or start filming their hobby.
Yep.
They have success on YouTube. They quit their business or their hobby and they go full-time YouTubing. And for some reason, some have done it successful. I don't want to say it can't be done successful, but it changes the whole dynamic of what's there, and what's there was the recipe that works. You know
It's not reality anymore then.
Yeah, it starts becoming a little bit staged.
Yeah.
The other flip side of that is I absolutely love what I do.
Yeah.
Like, to me, it's not all work, I mean, there's days that suck and there's days that stuff don't go right, but I would much rather be doing that than sitting behind a desk or doing something I don't want to do. So it has forced the business to change in some aspects. Like a few random examples I could give you is even though I'm in business, it blows people's mind, especially locally, that I do not post my phone number anywhere. I'm very hard to get hold of.
I even know you sometimes can't get hold of you.
I'm not going to sit down.
And he knows my routine. I'll text, I'll box her, and no response, I'll start calling. So when he sees a phone call, something serious going on.
That's a code for SOS.
Yeah.
But I've been, and what a lot of people forget is I was in the excavating business for over 10 years before I started YouTube. So I had a pretty good group of clientele before I started YouTube. That group of clientele has grown after YouTube. And for a couple different reasons. One, like septics, for example, we don't do a lot of septics anymore. They don't make good videos. I don't enjoy doing them. They do make pretty good money on the excavating side, but I need them to kind of fit a whole different criteria now. We don't take on a tremendous amount of new customers. A lot of them are existing customers or referrals. Thank you for your one, by the way.
Yeah, yeah. Your pond's probably your most new customers as you.
Yeah,
you
but
jump
even my
around
ponds, a lot of times they're still,
within a family somewhere.
yeah. Or we're fixing something somebody else screwed up.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't want to say we don't take on any new customers because
Yeah.
we do, but you start weaving that web of how many people does Chris Temple know, and you've referred me to several
Yep.
people, and how many people does Matt Parr know, and
Yep.
you know how many people does Matt Parr's family know, and
Yep.
it don't take long. Man, I hate to jinx it, but knock on wood, we've
You get more jobs than you can take care of. Usually.
yeah. Well, and I don't know if you want to go down the business route of this thing, but that's almost by design because I could probably run 2 or 3 crews, and I got the financial means to probably equipment 2 or 3 crews, but I have no desire to do it.
Then you're back into your construction company.
Back into-
You're relying on people that you promise work that can't get done sometimes.
Yep, and you're managing people instead of doing the work yourself.
Yeah.
I like doing the work. So, circle all the way back around to your question. The YouTube channel has changed the way we do business, but it's allowed us to kind of cherry pick customers, cherry pick jobs, and we got to make money on the excavating side to pay for those bills. But the YouTube channel does bring in enough revenue now. We got to pay attention to what we're videoing and what we're posting
Yep.
and what stays relevant, and find the happy mix between those. We've always filmed with the mentality of come to work, hang out with us, and I don't want that to change. I don't want it to be like I'm a YouTuber that has some equipment. Go look what I'm gonna do
Yeah.
pedal with
Yeah.
today. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like what we do is true legit jobs.
Yep.
To this day. So
But your one-off jobs, I'm gonna say one-off. I mean, if you done pond building all year, you'd lose interest. You would lose interest, and your viewers would lose interest. You get into so many different.
I have to.
I mean, and that's what keeps the channel, I think,
Yeah.
live too. I mean,
And that's what we were doing that way before we were ever videoing is I've figured out, that's what I figured out about building houses. I don't like to stay in one spot.
yeah,
If I'm in one spot over about 3 weeks,
you're
I'm not
tired
having-
of going.
I'm not having
You're tired of
camper.
going.
and Aaron and I talk about this all the time. You know, we'll field tile in the spring. We'll do building pads, driveway, house preps. Or we'll field tile winter going into spring. Spring going into summer, we do building pads, driveways, stuff like that. Summertime, we'll do our big pond jobs
Yep.
or our big earth moving jobs. And then going back into fall, we'll kind of catch up on all of our loose ends. And then we like to spend 2 months here in the shop.
Yeah,
And it really breaks the year up nice, and it keeps us from getting totally burnt out on anything. It gives us a nice routine of videos, and not knocking Chris Let's Dig 18 or all. He's got his own style and it all works, but at some point you can only watch a guy scoop dirt so many times before you need to see something different. I feel like we're able to. I feel like we're at least able to offer a different variety, which separates
Yeah,
us from
yeah.
Chris and some of the other guys out there.
So, in your opening statement on every video now, it's work, family, and fun.
I'm not sure if I always get those in the right order. But
How do you juggle your day-to-day schedule between the three? Because you're doing all three in one day most times.
Yeah,
From kids' sporting events, your family stuff. As long as you got man behind the scenes, fun's there all the time.
as Aaron would say, all your vacations.
All your vacations, yeah.
The one thing I didn't take into consideration with being, I'm going to say, slightly successful on social media is the amount of travel that comes with it.
It has opened up a lot of traveling for you.
And if you're going to stay relevant, you got to keep your nose in certain circles and groups. Which I'm not complaining about the travel, but it does take me away from here more than what I would thought
Yep.
it would have.
Yep.
So the proper answer to this is family always comes first, right? And that's true if there's an emergency.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know how else
Yeah.
to say that. Now, let me back up a little bit farther. The main decision to shut down 2 other businesses and focus on one and start YouTube and quit doing what I was doing was be able to spend more time with family.
Family. Yep.
And it has allowed me to do that. So that's been successful. But as you well know, being a farmer, if you're self-employed, it's a life. It's not a job.
It's a life.
lifestyle. So the time you may spend with your kids or your family is not always in the afternoon. It's not always here, there, and now. But one thing YouTube has allowed us to do is I don't have to travel for a lot of jobs anymore.
Yeah.
So I miss very few sporting events. If I need to be here, there, or somewhere, I can. It's allowed Jenna to take her full-time job to a part-time job, so that opens her up a lot for helping running stuff around and
Yep.
making sure kids get to where they need to be. So family does always come first, and I don't know if I get to spend like huge blocks of time with the family other than vacations, but we do spend quality time together.
You know, looking at the ag sector versus the dirt sector,
It's a lot more acceptable for you guys to take your kids
the
with you.
families, we're intermending that family and work together because, I mean, because it is a family farm, you know, most
That's
time, and
one
our
thing-
equipment's set up for family.
Well,
time.
yeah, exactly. That's one thing I'm jealous of is every tractor built's got 2 seats in it.
Yeah.
For some reason, it's a lot more acceptable for a 10-year-old to be driving a tractor than it is a 10-year-old running an excavator.
And you see that, yeah. You got to watch what. I mean, Gunner's coming along pretty good, very good. I mean,
Yeah,
getting
but
good
I
on
still
both
got
of
to be.
them.
Well, it's just like the other day we were putting up Christmas lights out here on the house. I videoed the whole thing and posted it on my Patreon channel. I showed Maisie how to run the man lift, and then I was just trying to teach her how to run it. Well, that turned into I'm running the damn man lift, not you.
Yeah.
So Macy ran the man lift. Gunner put up all the Christmas lights. I just sat there on my basket and played on my phone. But
That's pretty unique. Put up Christmas lights with an 80-foot boom lift.
yeah, and we had. I mean, you're talking about family time. That was fun for all three of us.
Yes.
Macy was having a heyday trying to figure out the man lift. Gunner was having a heyday putting the lights up, and I was just having a heyday sitting there
Watching
spending time with him.
them learn, yeah. Yep.
So, it's, I don't know, I guess everybody's definition of family time is so subjective.
No, it is.
It's hard to say that, but the downfall of being self-employed is whenever Farmer Chris calls and says he's got a combine stuck in a road ditch somewhere and you got traffic blocked, you drop whatever you're doing.
Yep.
It don't matter if you're at a ball game or if you're in the middle of supper or what's going on, you gotta go.
See, I only needed dirt perfect towing recovery once this year.
The year's not over with. You
I
still
know.
got a week and
I
a
know.
half left.
And mine didn't even pertain to mud. It was just come and get a trailer off the interstate. Yeah.
But Jenna, it took the longest time forever for Jenna to understand that I have no schedule because it changes repeatedly throughout the day. But
Yep.
but no, it's you know, and as far as the work and the fun part is, it's just you got to make work fun somehow and
Yeah.
still be safe about it. You know, we take time to screw off or play a little game or whatever. Just to, I mean, we push hard, but I don't know.
You've been to several dirt track races and take Gunner and
Yep.
along too. So,
Yeah.
so the travel part you mentioned, you've been to Vegas once or twice already.
Yeah.
Sweden,
Yeah.
Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah.
But look at all of, I mean, it's Florida. Yeah, your auctions.
Louisville, which
Yeah,
that's
you've made
pretty
several
short,
trips,
but that's
yeah.
still 2 days
Yep.
up there.
So yeah, it's opened up a
Pennsylvania.
travel window. I mean, it's neat to go see other places. It takes time to go do, but it's
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword. You know, it's like going to Sweden with Volvo and Tony Beats and Minnie Beats and Chris.
yeah,
In the moment, you think about all these things you need to be getting done, but you know 5 years from now, you're going to look back and be pissed off if you pass up that
know.
opportunity. And it's not necessarily a profitable trip for me to go over there, but it don't cost me anything either.
to go. Yeah,
So I don't know.
but
You
you
know
had
what?
free time while you was in Sweden too to do
Yes,
some tourist
but you don't want to
stuff.
sit there and piss away opportunities
I know.
just assuming the next one's going to come, and it never
Yeah.
does. So it's I don't know. We kind of make a point to jump on some of that stuff within reason. We were just down in Atlanta, Georgia, with Hyundai filming season 2 of National Equipment League. I would have been just fine with doing season 1 and calling it good. But
I
Hyundai,
think you're a little happier with season 2 outcome.
well, I can't say that yet.
Yeah,
I'll
not
have
let the
to
cat
wait.
out of the bag.
I'll have to wait and see. They may see it by the time they see this. But season 2, they really wanted it to be me versus Chris, and it definitely delivered. You'll have to watch and see
Yeah.
who won, but it definitely delivered. And these companies do a lot for us as far as providing us with equipment and stuff. So if the only payment I got to do is take, 2 days to go down there,
And that's another avenue that, the YouTube has opened up is the equipment you're available to run now.
I never in my wildest dreams ever thought I'd have
What you got,
what I got, but
or what you've been through, yeah, or had to run.
and I don't honestly know. This is a good conversation to have with Bill whenever we have Bill on, because Bill's responsible for some of this equipment that shows up on the channel, and I've never ever pursued a manufacturer for equipment.
Yeah, correct.
They've always approached me, and as far as the attachments and stuff, honestly, I've never really pursued any of the sponsors. They've always approached me, and we've just kind of worked stuff out. There's equal as many as that didn't work out.
I've seen that before.
But
Some that worked out and it ain't working out no more either. So
yeah. The ones laying on the floor over here.
yeah.
We're not going to go there for Chris.
Yeah.
But very true. But no, it's I don't know, and this is a good conversation to have with Bill, because I don't know why they find me attractive or why they zone in on me. But all the major manufacturers at some point have taken note of what we've done. And obviously there's 3 major manufacturers, or 4 if you want to count Demco, that have kind of been able to strike a deal. We've been able to work together. But it also comes with some unique challenges along the way of kind of juggling all that, and that's a whole different side of management that I had no intentions of doing with the YouTube channel, sponsor relations. And if these people are going to choose you and go out on a limb, I think my other recorder already down, but that's all right. If these people are going to choose you and go out on a limb and trust you with a $500,000 piece of equipment, whenever they call, you got to answer the phone.
Yes. Yep.
Whenever they ask you for your input, you got to give them input. And I'm not saying that in a bad way, but you got to be. If they're spending time with you, you got to spend time with them. Well, whenever you're a one-man show, that time becomes very valuable.
And the interesting thing is that equipment, even though you tell them stuff they may not want to hear, they appreciate what you're telling them sometimes.
That is true. That is very true. But there's a right way and a wrong way to go about
To present the information.
that. And if you're the guy doing I just had this conversation with the manufacturer the other day, is if you're going to send your equipment out to a guy that only runs your equipment, what's he got to compare it to?
Yeah.
He's not going to compare it to the rest of the industry. He's going to compare it to your latest model. Well, your newest model better be better.
It better be better.
Or you're really in trouble. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So we bring knowledge of a lot of different manufacturers to the table, and that equipment is designed to run in thousands and thousands of applications, and we may only apply 100 of those applications to what we do. So there might be a feature or something we don't like, but it may not even apply to what we're doing. So you got to have an open mind about this equipment's meant to do a whole lot more than what you're just doing along the lines. And these equipment manufacturers are pretty smart about it. They take what I say, they'll take a group over here, and then if they got a common denominator that keeps popping up across all groups, then they'll circle back around and start asking for solutions on it.
And to make the YouTube channel work, to open up the window for this equipment is the viewers. They're
The viewers and the interaction with it.
Yep.
And I think they appreciate on the channel that we're pretty honest about what's going on. I don't want to say I don't have my hands fully tied, because out of respect to the manufacturers, if there's an issue, they just want us to talk to them about it first.
Yep.
And my rule of thumb is, as long as that manufacturer is working diligently to resolve that issue, then I'm okay with it, because I know by the time somebody else out there gets their hands on it, they're not going to have that same problem.
And over the past 6 years, I've sat and watched viewers have the availability to personally meet you on several. And it's mind-boggling, and even just to see it here in the county is the people that want to meet Mike Simon.
That's probably one. I'm going to get that, but to go back a little bit, that's probably one disadvantage of the channel getting bigger. Is the bigger you get, the more exposure you get, and the more you really got to mind your P's and Q's.
Yep.
And I don't want to mislead anybody and think I'm being dishonest or I'm trying to persuade you a way you're not supposed to go. That's not true at all. But I can't be quite as blunt about it as I used to be.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. I hear you.
the days of what I had to say about Kubota would be hard to do today.
Oh. I had somebody ask me if I knew anybody that ran a Kubota tractor. I said, not a tractor, but I know one person you can go talk to.
That'd be a little harder to get by with today, just because YouTube has changed, sponsor relationships have changed. You know, I got one sponsor, one of the major manufacturers, come to me because of those videos, and another one was very leery of me because of those videos. So to go to where you're going,
Yeah.
if you do meet me in person, you get a little more of the old school.
The old school.
If you want to know the truth,
Yeah. If the camera's not rolling there or something. Yeah.
here's the truth.
Yeah.
And you guys have been watching me for a long enough time. It's still in there. You just got to read between a few lines to get there, because hint number one, if I don't say nothing, it's not good.
Yeah.
It's not good at all. Hint number two, if it goes bye-bye without a big review or a big how much I love this machine, that's not good either.
There's probably one of them that
Yeah.
was here and just left. So.
Yeah, so, but those manufacturers are working, they're not denying they have issues. They're working very diligently to address them. And they have, I mean, we build stuff that ain't perfect.
Yeah.
Like it's
Well, yeah, like you said, the tall plow's been in here for some
oh yeah.
re-engineering, you know, just
Yeah.
take it out and try it and bring it back.
So so my rule of thumb is now if somebody says, well, it is what it is, Mike, I'm like, okay, if it is what it is,
Yeah.
here's what the world needs to know about
Yeah.
it. And I'm not going to hold back. And I'm talking about big ticket items. Now, there's always nuances we talk about. We like, don't like, works good here, don't work good there, really good at this, not good
Yep.
at that. But my job is just to give you information to see if it applies to what you're doing. But that is definitely part of the channel that I did not see taking up so much of my time, was sponsor relationships. And that's really kind of been a struggle. And it's one of the reasons, honestly, I turned down a lot of stuff, because if I can't give it due time and diligence and it just don't make sense with what else I got going on, there's no benefit for them, me, the viewer, anybody.
You know, just like that Hyundai haul truck. I mean, they could have brought that at any time, but if you didn't have a use for it, there wasn't no need to bring
Yeah.
it. So, but you got two jobs back to back. They
Yeah.
come and you was able to review it. And,
Yeah, and that's so if some people want some behind the scenes of kind of how that stuff works. Is we're currently working with Volvo, Hyundai, and Case, and I never have two competing pieces of equipment at the same time from different manufacturers. So if Case sends me an excavator, I never have a demo excavator from anybody else. I run my own stuff. If Case sends me a bulldozer, I don't have a bulldozer from anybody else. CTL, haul truck, blah blah blah. So we had those two jobs coming up. Hyundai was kind of after me. Hey, if you need anything, let me know. Need anything, let me know. So I said, hey, we got two jobs coming up here. We could use this haul truck for a couple months if you want to showcase one.
showcase one, yeah.
And they're like, absolutely. Send us an address. Where does it need to be? And that is literally the conversation. It's not, I need this many videos. I need this many views. I need you to talk about this. I need you to talk about this. I need you to talk about that. It is where
And
do
probably
you need it?
is Hyundai and Case your two best sponsors to work for, I guess.
They all got their perks, but they're the two most active.
Active, yeah.
Is probably the way I would say.
Or the less requirements of it, maybe.
Man, I don't want to get into too
I
many
know,
details
yeah.
there, but
Well, let me ask you this, and you don't have to answer it either. 2 years ago, did you ever see yourself working with Case this much on
No.
construction equipment?
no.
Because for years, it's around here, you don't see much Case.
No,
Equipment.
I've had some Case equipment back in the day before I started YouTube, and it was kind of hit and miss. which any manufacturer is
The
gonna
old
hit.
twin stick dozer,
Yeah,
or
any-
3-stick dozer.
4-stick, yeah.
4-stick,
Actually, I had one of each.
yeah.
Any manufacturer's kind of hit and miss, but I wasn't super familiar with their new stuff, so I didn't really know what to expect. Somebody's blowing up my phone here.
It ain't me. I don't need you. But it seems like you've, over the video that has posted, you've definitely fallen in love with a Case Traco. So.
Yeah, the Case Traco is nice, and that is one of the huge, super nice things about what we do is I would never get a chance to get. You can go to these trade shows, you can go to these demo yards, you can go do all this stuff, and you can run them here and there. But actually taking them on your own job and putting a couple $100 on them, you really get to learn what these pieces of equipment are. And back to I want to hit on your question there a little bit about these different manufacturers. It's hard to compare apples to apples on each one is because they all operate so differently at a corporate level. The way all three manufacturers get equipment on our hands, the way all three manufacturers require different things from us is all structured so different.
To benefit both of you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Case, Case, I like Case in a lot of ways because it's more of a long-term demo. And they do check in, rightfully so, and they're really responsive with feedback and stuff. Hyundai is more of a short-term, 90-day demo period, and it's but there's no nothing. It's just here you go, Mike, go.
And then, like you said, there's some that has 7-page contracts,
Yeah, they're not here.
and then there's some that you can only run their equipment in a video, and that's it.
Yeah.
And that's hard to do. It's
hard to do
with your job. So.
My take on this is very easy. Is going back to time management. Is I don't have time to go out and do a video because you require video on this machine today.
Yeah.
I need to have it sitting on my lot, available, ready to go. And if I have a job that day that requires your machine, I'm just going to get in your machine versus my machine, and we're going to do the job.
Yeah.
And I think the viewers appreciate the real world. They know nothing's forced. They know it's using it just like they would. And I got this Case equipment like that 140 I got. It's set for almost 3 weeks this summer and didn't get used at all because we didn't need it.
Didn't need it. Yeah.
And then it may get used for 3 weeks every day.
Just another one. I mean, try to catch them all. You've got Demco dump trailer. It's been long term, but it's not in very many videos. But they're happy to have it here.
Yeah. So the Demco, that's another good one, is they got a hold of me a couple years ago and talked to me about this side dump, and I was honest with them. I'm like, I don't know nothing about a side dump. I don't know if I ever used one. They're like, well, we'll send it down and let you try. I'm like, well, I can't promise you videos.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, it's just as beneficial to have it in the background of your videos and it is sitting on a lot somewhere. So
And the original one actually got sold.
the original one actually got sold, and we got the second one, and then they're able to pull some video clips out of what we do and use it instead of hiring a professional film crew to go out and get these active shots. They pull video clips out of what we do and use it for some of their own advertising. So
it's pretty cool.
And that's a good example of how every
manufacturer is different on sponsors.
what is I've figured out is what's super weird about what we do though is I got a lot of big major sponsors. I ain't got no small ones.
The only small one I can think of would be Ariat. You've worked with them quite a bit.
Yeah, I worked with Ariat a little bit, and obviously my issues with speed binders is well documented.
Yeah.
Which that one's come and gone, but like
any little knick-knack stuff, it's non-existent pretty well.
no.
So.
Which I don't know. You'd think it'd be the other way around.
You've probably had the opportunity, but if you don't see a need for it in your operation, there ain't no need of having it.
There's been a few small opportunities from some Chinese tool companies, which I'm not going to do, and some random junk stuff, which I'm not going to do.
Yep.
Hyperlights has got a hold of me, but they want a dedicated video on lights. Sorry, this ain't a lighting channel.
Yep.
If you want me to put them in and mention them, I will.
Yep.
I'm not big on doing sponsor reads, so that's not going to happen. But
Some channels those work good for though.
Yeah, Cleveland's done a lot of smaller stuff, and he's had some success with it. But I don't know. I watch these. I watch these other channels do all these small equipment reads, and these. It's okay. So I'm gonna put this in perspective. So Case, I'm just gonna use Case for example. Hyundai, Volvo, apply whoever you want. They'll send me a $500,000 machine. with no requirements.
Yep.
Here you go.
And then these others send you a $20 item.
And then this other company sends me a $20 item and wants me to read a 30-second read and show a 3-minute video clip on it. I'm like, no, I'm not.
Just let me use it in my everyday life, and
It'd be a whole lot better if I just used that tool on a task I was doing and say, hey, this thing's pretty awesome. Check the link in the description and call it good.
Yeah.
But they got to make sure their legal team's got to make sure they get the due diligence, blah, blah, blah. Well, all they're doing is shooting themselves in the foot, and I don't have the time to argue with them, so it's just easier to say no. And watching people who do that, if it's something that they truly use on their channel, I can stomach it. But if it's just, this is one that keeps popping in my head, and I know why he did it, so I'm not knocking him. But, Matt from Diesel Creek did a 3-minute ad read on deodorant.
Oh, really?
I mean, how out of place is this? Like, as a viewer, he is getting paid to do that.
Yep.
And for me, it just kind of takes away from
real life.
Yeah. So I don't need the money. I don't mess with it. I don't. If let's just say DeWalt got a hold of me and wanted to do something, I'd definitely be interested, or some legit tool company or some shop equipment or something like that. But I don't know. I guess it might be my fault more than anybody else's, because as well as I do, I say no more than I take it on. So,
crystal ball, where do we see Dirt Perfect in the next 12 months? You think?
I don't have a clue. I never.
Dirt Perfect will be here another 12 months, so you would think.
Yeah,
I mean, I know the channel takes some time. I mean, you ain't got an edit crew, you ain't got a film crew, but you see positive benefit out of it to keep chugging forward with it.
It's definitely worth keeping going for sure. Just to tell a story here, it's been about, I guess it was this spring, because we were putting in that little bitty piece of field tile there on the other side of Leopold.
Oh, yeah, yep.
When we dug up there with the trenching bucket.
Yep.
So we pull out of Derby. I see this white truck pulling behind me. We turn down towards Leopold, which is another decent small town, so it's not unusual they follow me. Then I turn out of Leopold. Truck still following me. I'm like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
So I stop, because we had to turn up a pretty steep little driveway. So I stop, get out, and I wave this guy around, and he pulls up behind the truck, gets out, starts walking up, and I'm thinking, oh God, a rock flew off.
Yeah.
I'm thinking,
liability claim.
I'm like, this guy's mad about something. And it was a random fan, and I apologize, I don't know your name if you're watching this. He came up and he's like, oh my gosh, it's really you. And I'm like, yeah, how you doing? I always take time to talk to him a little bit. And he's like, I guess you're dropping equipment off for the guys? And I'm like, no, it's just me and Aaron.
Yeah.
He's like, you guys actually do all the work? I'm like, yeah, we do all the work. No way. He said, I figured you just dropped equipment off, let have somebody else do the work, and you guys just come in and film a few clips and move on. I'm like, nope, it's just me. I'm the camera crew, I'm the excavator, I'm the building department.
Yep.
I'm everything. So to answer your question, it is literally just Aaron and I. And of course, Aaron helps film a little bit on the jobs, but as far as the rest of the channel, he's pretty hands off on it.
Yep, he's
So yeah, I film. I do all the editing. I load everything onto YouTube. Jenna, my wife, she now goes through and does some of the thumbnails and helps with some of the back end stuff, and does help with a few of the comments. But I personally still do probably 90% of all
the comments.
Comments. I am pretty hands off on Instagram and Facebook. We got a presence there, but I really don't have time to manage that a whole lot. Jenna and Lord Muck kind of do the so if you comment or message me on Facebook, I'm a little bit slow getting back there, just because I'm not over there a whole lot, because my focus is on YouTube. But as far as YouTube goes, it's 90% me. How long can I keep this pace up? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Right now we post a video every other day, have for 5 years. And obviously I'm a History Channel. I'm 2 months behind.
But we've discussed that, why it works. It works good.
Yeah. So if I ever get to the point where I start catching up with myself one day, I'd say the first change you'd probably see is going to like just 3 videos a week, like a Monday, Wednesday, Sunday or something. But I don't foresee that happening in the next 12 months.
Is the Patreon working out? I know you've dabbled there just a little bit.
Yeah, so that's I've done the Patreon, and I do 100% of the Patreon too, but I don't require a whole lot. So with YouTube, like the kids in the man lift, cussing, different things that YouTube kind of shuns you for a little bit.
Yep.
I can go over to Patreon. I don't have to worry about any of that.
Yep.
So we've kind of used Patreon as a kind of a behind the scenes or the rest of the story type platform. There's no crossover. It's nowhere near as big as YouTube, but it's actually been way more enjoyable and way more fun because it's a lot more fun for me to film because I don't have to worry about anything. And
for the ones not familiar with it, from what little I know, YouTube you get to watch for free as long as you watch the commercials.
Yeah.
Patreon's like a $10 a month.
You can choose what it is. But yeah, so whenever I get paid from YouTube, I get paid from AdSense, which is advertisers advertising on my videos.
Yep.
So the more suitable it is for a wider range of advertisers, the more I make, and then the more you guys watch, the more I make. But I don't have any control over it. So that's why I got to really watch what I do, say, and post is because it affects those numbers. You get over to Patreon, advertisers don't have nothing to do with it. It's just a subscription. So the only people that's going to see it is who pays. It is behind a paywall, but there's no advertisements. There's no anything. I can do, say, anything I want over there, and it's good to go.
And YouTube can be a subscription. That's where I'm at because I don't have ads on my YouTube. I just pay a subscription and premium and go on. So.
And I could do the YouTube membership deal and do some of those videos behind the YouTube membership. I'm just afraid some of them will bleed over from one to the other. And the other thing is, it's just nice to have content on different platforms in case something happens to one.
Yeah, and that's true.
Nothing's,
Well, you kind of see where we're looking at TikTok in the next 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Somebody's primary TikTok is probably scrambling right now trying to figure out what they're going to do.
And that's one reason why I think it's important to also have some presence on Facebook and Instagram, which our Facebook is actually pretty decent. It's up around 150,000.
Really? Yeah.
But just in case something happens, you at least got an audience somewhere else to get your...
So you don't have a fresh start.
Yeah, you don't have a fresh start all the way back over.
So pretty much for 2024, man behind the scenes has been your primary sidekick.
Yeah.
And he hasn't done his Boilermaker gig much this year.
No, he's hit a few emergency outages here. So we actually got a whole podcast with Aaron on the channel about his real job. He got an early start. So what has changed is Aaron actually hit a milestone in hours. So once he hit, Aaron's not here, so I don't want to guess, but I think it's 42,000 hours. Does that sound right? It's
somewhere in there, yeah.
So once he hit 42,000 hours worked, that basically triggered something to where he's fully invested in his retirement.
Yep.
So he can keep working in the Boilermakers and keep putting more money into his retirement, but no matter how much is in there now, he's going to get 100% of it back. But he can't start drawing that retirement until he hits his age, since you have to hit hours and age. So that's allowed Aaron to not have to chase every outage and every hour.
He does have some other planned outages, I think, coming up in the future.
Yeah, so he's got one plan he works for quite a bit, so he'll go back and still do some stuff with them occasionally, but if they call, he don't have to jump, is basically where he's at.
And Jerry's always pops up every now and then. Everybody enjoy Jerry in there.
Yeah.
Jerry's finally warming up to the camera over 6 years, you know that?
He has. I was just telling somebody about this the other day whenever I first started doing YouTube. Jerry was the one I was worried about the most.
Yeah.
And I was rightfully so. His very first question was how I was going to move dirt with the camera.
Yeah. Yeah.
So every once in a while, I remind him whenever we get a new bulldozer or something shows up that camera is responsible for that. So I'm moving dirt with the camera. He don't find that quite as entertaining as I do. But the turning point for Jerry Jerry was never on YouTube, never watched YouTube, had no idea what YouTube was, but he would start getting recognized.
Uh-huh.
And people come up to him and talk to him about these different jobs, and Jerry was just, I don't know if it was mesmerized or dumbfounded or whatever. So Jerry's wife's actually pretty savvy, technical savvy.
Yeah.
So a couple years ago, they got a smart TV. So now they go back and watch all the videos. And so Jerry kind of sees
Yep.
because what you see the day we're filming and what actually shows up on TV,
Yeah.
like you don't hear all the little sidebar conversations and all that stuff. It is, I don't want to say it's two different things, but it's two different views. So once Jerry started seeing it from that side and kind of seeing the good it was doing, and I think he's flipped a 180. I think
Yeah,
he has.
yeah,
It's pretty cool to see him enjoy it because every once in a while he'll turn camera on.
And you know, for Jerry's age, he ain't no spring chicken.
No.
He can get out there and push dirt with the best of them.
He'll work 8-10 hours with us, right? The other thing about Jerry is I bet you up until we started doing this, there wasn't a single video of Jerry pushing dirt. Mm-hmm. And now think about all the videos we got.
I know. Yeah.
You know, Jerry don't have any kids, but he does have a lot of family. And then, you know, my kids are going to hear me talk about Jerry one day whenever he's not around no more. So
Yeah.
it's pretty cool to
Have the video.
yeah, right
on.
here's Jerry. Check him out. You know what I mean?
Yep. So, and you know, he's not an everyday, but on the big jobs, he's there. Right.
Yeah, and he'll stick in there, and you ain't got to worry about him hot rodding equipment or tearing anything up or doing anything crazy. Jerry likes running dozers, so we try to keep him in a dozer. But
And you know, this year here, he's kind of settled into the 850J pretty decent.
He has.
Over the old B.
I told Clint the other day, I see Clint CNC equipment. I said it only took 3 years. Well, he finally got him to switch primary
Yeah.
dozers. I said, how'd you make that happen? I said, one, it got hot, and two, I parked the other one in the shop
Yeah.
or in the building.
In the building, yeah.
So
And then I guess man behind the scenes is still, or not man behind the scenes, Mr. Millennial is now the man behind the scenes almost, ain't he? Still does
yeah,
some,
he is true the man behind the scenes. So he still does do some bidding. He helps with some material management or getting you know
material to the job site.
material to the job site, logistics.
Yep, there you go.
He does, but
But his,
some of that's on his channel, but he don't
Yeah.
show up on.
you know, he's got his own thing going on now after COVID and his lifestyle change. That
Well,
pulled
so
him out of day-to-day work with you. So
timing wise, it kind of worked out ironically good because Aaron was making a big push to get in his hours, so he wasn't available a whole lot. Matt had a non-compete, so he couldn't work in his industry. So about the time Matt's non-compete was up, Aaron had his hours.
yep,
So they were able just to kind of
swap places.
swap places, and it was super nice for me because I didn't have to train anybody.
Train or go work by yourself for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how long we've been at
That's
it
a
on
great
this one.
question. 52 minutes, Farmer Chris.
So, I mean, we wrapping in on an hour here, but I don't know where else we need to go. I mean, we've covered quite a bit on the Dirt Perfect channel here, so it's
Yeah, it's everybody thinks there's some big secret to the behind the scenes part of it. There's really not.
has
I mean, it's just a lot of hours.
has Jeff got Gunner ready to go racing yet, or
That's the sort of stuff.
yeah,
They're working on their simulator racing, but that's another cool thing that's come out of you know.
no, there the sponsorships kind of went the opposite way. You're helping sponsor
Yeah,
Jeff's
so
car now. So.
yeah, it which has been a good relationship, and it's been a good excuse for Gunnar and I to spend some time together. I think Macy would even enjoy it if she'd just get to a race and see what it's all about. But that, you know, you talk about we'll close out with this. You talk about the future of Dirt Perfect.
Uh-huh.
A lot of it's going to have to do with those two yays.
Yeah, I agree.
Because in the next, see, Macy's 14, Gunner's 10. So in the next 5 to 7 years, Macy's going to have to make a career choice.
Yeah, that's
And Gunner is going to be all but made one.
yeah.
I always tell everybody Macy's the female version of me. She thinks just like me. She acts just like me. It's almost scary. And she said she wanted to be a teacher or a nurse. Well, she's not very compassionate. She don't have any patience, so I'm not for sure. I'm not for sure how well that's going to go for her. But I don't want to discourage her from it. But man, she's got a mechanical mind. Like she can just look at stuff and figure it out
Oh, yeah.
and put it
Good deal.
together. And so she's in 8th grade, getting ready to be a freshman. And they did this. They call it a personality test, but it's to try to help guide you towards a career path.
Yeah, because because now it's more a career path in high school than it is the
so
core 40 anymore.
Well, and it's for a couple different reasons. One, if you think you want to be a teacher, They want you to experience being a teacher in high school so you can realize that's not for you
Yeah.
before you. That may be another good one to have on here is we got to get Tara Bishop right
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
They want to get you experiencing that career path before you commit to investing in it with student
Yeah.
loans and stuff like that, which I agree with 100%. So Maisie took this test, and the top 30 jobs that would most likely fit her personality were construction related.
Really?
Yeah, it was construction engineer, construction worker, operator, engineer, design.
And you're seeing more and more women in those careers too. you know,
Yeah,
so-
and I always make the joke whenever her and Jenna are arguing. I like if I was her, I'd know what I've been saying about that time it comes out of her mouth, and I'm like, oh no, that's not good.
Yep.
So I know she thinks just like me, but I don't want to push her. She needs to figure it
Yeah.
out on her own. But it's just like operating that man lift the other day. I hit the house more than she did.
Really?
You know, you show her one time, and
She learns and takes off.
yeah, and
That's good.
she can understand how the boom works and the angles and which way she needs to go, and she figured out how the axle stop worked and understood all that right off the bat, and so I don't
Gunner will
know.
probably get there with age.
Gunner's there already.
Yeah.
He's all about it. Like if I'm going to the job site, he wants to go. If I'm out here in the shop, he wants to be out here, and he's wide open. But you put him in a piece of equipment, and he'll listen, and he'll be responsible. So, and seeing the two of them, honestly, they'd make a really good team if they both wanted to get.
Can you
in
get
it.
anything done with Aaron and Gunner on the same
No,
job
that's
site?
a whole different story. Because them two, you see all the drawings back here on the
Oh,
side of the
yeah.
thing. Those two, all they want to do is argue with each other.
And then me and Macy pick on each other quite a bit. So.
Yeah, but no, that's going to be the real turning point. Because if they don't want nothing to do with the business, which is fine, I'm not
Yeah.
going to force them to. Then in 5 or 7 years, I'm going to probably start winding it down to more of a hobby business instead of an actual business. But if they want something to do with the business, then I'm going to start turning over responsibility and
To keep growing where they
and
want
let
to go.
them take it whatever direction they want to go. If they want to go full-time field tiling, that's fine. If they want to go commercial, that's fine. But they're going to have to take the reins.
Full-time what? Field tiling?
Not me. I said
Oh, okay.
that. Not me. Them. I'll let them take the reins and go whichever direction they want to, and I'll help them. I'll sit back here in the shop and piddle and
Be more support, yeah.
be moral support and video all their screw ups and tell the world about it.
No, it's been a good podcast, I think. So
Yeah, I mean, everybody always kind of wonders what the behind the scenes or what the thought process is.
Yeah.
There's no magic to it, man. It's just,
Mother Nature kind of steers us all in the direction she wants to go, and
yeah,
and that's basically with you. You know, the weather, yours and my both is weather related on 90% of it. So,
and then all these commitments we got never time up with the weather.
and, you know, something we've not touched on this podcast we have many times is between the work fun and family is the community service that we both do. So, and they get waged in there too. So.
Well, even though that costs us money and it costs us time, I think in the long run it's still profitable, which is not why we do it.
It just all takes hours in a day you've got to
Yeah.
put in there. So,
But you just got to commit to doing it.
yeah, and that's the thing is once you, I hate to say it, but man, people that commit to a community service or to a board, not community, I mean, it is community service, but not like the police community service, but commit to a board and then only show up to 3 months worth of meetings out of the year. You know, that's just,
Kind of like somebody in the ambassador meetings.
yeah. I hear you. I hear you.
I can always say that because I made one
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
meeting than what you did. So
But you know, that was an interesting program too. I'm glad I went. It's got to fit into a different year for me. So.
yeah, no, it's all part of it. So I'm glad you guys enjoy it. We're going to keep doing what we're doing. I don't foresee. I mean, we're always changing and tweaking things just to make it a little bit better. But as far as big changes, big formats, big anything coming, I think it's just going to be
Yeah, it looks like the YouTube channel's going to stay around for what I see. So.
maybe that'll be the title of this podcast is Dirt Perfect going away?
Yeah, wouldn't that get something?
A little clickbait title on the
Yeah.
few points from Perfect over there. So.
Uh,
All right, guys. Well, hope you enjoyed. Got any questions or anything about something we didn't cover? in the podcast, comment down below. I do go through all the comments on this channel as well.
Yep, I keep an eye on some of the comments
Yeah,
too.
and if you got something else you'd like for us to possibly hit on, let me know. Thank you, guys.